Coming up on this episode of The Village Idiom.
We do know this. We know the first...
Dizzle.
Shake spizzle. Bizzle, shake, spizzle. To bizzle or not to bizzle.
That is the fizzle.
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to The Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every single week chooses a popular saying to take a shallow but hopefully comedic and even once in a while interesting dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but we're also going to use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. My name is Jurassic Mark.
And I am Skinny. Good to see you, friend.
Good to see you.
Well, there it is.
There what is?
You and I, just together. I was thinking about that the other day.
Wait 1 second.
Just give me a sec. 1 sec.
Go ahead.
Well, it gets in.
I thought you were going to say something else.
No, I had nothing interesting other than here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we are.
At this particular moment of time.
Who would have ever guessed?
How could you guess?
You couldn't guess.
Is there a way a person should guess?
Are we doing the same one today? I feel like we're on two different pages.
Which pages do you think we're on?
This one.
Penny.For.Your.Thoughts.
That sounds like Sheldon.
Wow, you're good at this. I could never do that.
Well,
I'm glad I'm the one coming up with the clips because you'd be like, who's that? I don't know. Hillary Swank.
Penny for your thoughts. What's going on in your head at any given moment? That's why I paused,
because usually, so if you look up the definition, it's an invitation to a person lost in thought to share what they're thinking about. So that's why I just paused for a second to see if you'd go.
Penny for your thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh, you're feeding me a line.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't take advantage of
It's
it.
okay. You didn't play volleyball, did you?
What I think, though, regarding this subject, it just seems so insulting.
What do you mean? Oh, the price?
A penny. Like, that's what your thoughts are worth to me. A penny for your thoughts.
A penny?
You know what? They're barely even worth that.
Funny.
So a penny for your thoughts. My initial thought is how Rain Man that is. It's like, how much is a chocolate bar? $100.
Right.
Thanks, Raymond.
Penny for your thoughts.
Penny for your thoughts. How much is that idea? Penny?
Oh, you know, I think they should price your thoughts based on results. But I guess, like, if you're a consultant,
sure,
you're getting paid for your thoughts.
Yeah, because, like, well, they're not all equal. Some,
right.
Like, some are like super valuable.
Right.
And so don't undervalue your own thoughts. Let other people undervalue them for you.
Of course, if we made it Canadian, it makes it sound like your thoughts are even... You can raise the price and make your thoughts sound more worthless by saying a loony for your thoughts.
Penny for your thoughts, eh?
Loony for your thoughts. Are you calling me a loony? He's a loony. Loony for your thoughts? Toonie for your thoughts.
Toonie for your thoughts.
Canadians are... Like, do you think when the... I was going to say Franklin Mint, which is not the case in Canada.
Okay.
When the mint...
The Canadian Mint?
Canadian Mint. Is that all it is? There's no fancy name. When they came up with the dollar coin, whatever that was, I think the 90s, right?
The Scotch Mint.
The pepper. Testa. Complet. When the compliment, when they came up with the... Did you hear that? Yeah. It's a fury. When they came up with the dollar coin, and they're like, well, we need a local bird or animal, and they come up with the loon, and not only, like, the loon, whatever, but that it would be instantly called the loony. Do you think they were just like... Oh.
So, I was telling you that you'd think right off the bat they'd equate it with wildlife and at least call it a buck.
Wow. Did you come up with that?
No, I've told you this before.
Did I have the same reaction? Because that's fantastic.
This is the best part about doing a podcast with someone with dementia.
That's why getting a penny for my thoughts is probably worthwhile, because I can't remember a week ago, a day ago. So you said that before. That's amazing. Or every episode could be a repeat. I would enjoy it just as much.
It's the penny for your thoughts. The other part, so as I was doing my research, thought isn't a complimentary phrase now. So there's a penny for your thought, and then there's now a thought, a T-H-O-T, thought.
That means something else.
That means something else, but a penny for your thought.
Wow.
I know. Thank you.
Also insulting,
Totally insulting.
but maybe that's okay.
A penny for your thought.
Wow.
Wow, I know. So that is original.
That's all skinny.
Yeah, so I'm like, there's something there, which for those of you who aren't up on your colloquial slang, it would be the word harlot. That harlot over there, but not as complimentary as the word harlot.
Right.
That harlot over there, THOT, would be the thought. So a penny for your thought.
Amazing.
Someone who's acting kind of.
I just heard a comedian, and I didn't want to quote this comedian without getting the name because it came up on a podcast. Okay, Mike Paramore.
Okay.
Mike Paramore. He was talking about funny little abbreviations in text, and he was talking about
Sure.
and he's just not cool enough to understand this. He was talking about this girl that he goes, one time I got a text. It just said LOLILUTTYL. He's like, what if she work for the military? She's sending me codes? Like, my sister uses my phones.
Right.
What if the codes fall into the wrong hands?
Right.
I was just laughing. But that's how it is. I mean, I think we both probably text enough that we got it down. And now, does it ever get to the point where you see a new one and you're like, you know what it is immediately?
What's that one? I remember getting into a funny one with my boss at the time, who's since passed away. And I was like late for something because I was searching for a geocache. There was some meeting and I'm like going for a geocache to be the first one there, and the acronym for it is a first to find.
FTF.
An FTF. I was going, so I'm like sorry I'm late, just grab, it was a FTF and whatever. And so he's like, pardon me, like thinking I'm doing a WTF or something.
Right.
He was convinced that it had to mean something like that.
Right.
I was like, no, I wouldn't send you sending my boss,
Your
a
boss.
WTF. It was an FTF, a first to find. Much more wholesome.
First to, yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
I did hear a story, this could be legend, but of this mom who thought LOL meant lots of love. So it's like so-and-so passed away and sending LOLs. And
That's awesome.
In the most inappropriate.
Oh, LOL. Lots of love. One's compassionate, one's laughing at you.
Yeah. So it came from a compassionate place, but it had to be pointed out to her. Oh, Mom, LOL means laughing out loud.
That kind of thought is worth a penny. And as I was working through pennies, it made me think of how many pennies you might be able to identify. And so I got a little quick game for you here.
How many pennies? Okay.
All right.
If you just yell out dates.
Laverne from Laverne and Shirley.
All right, Penny Marshall.
So the answer to all of these is penny.
Oh, so I can just say Penny?
But the more you context, I'll know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'll know that you know.
Penny Marshall.
Okay. Homicidal clown.
Pennywise?
Pennywise.
Yeah.
There you go. Big Bang Theory neighbor.
Penny. I don't know her last name.
Fair enough.
That's who Sheldon was talking to in that clip.
Right. Hofstadler or something like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
All right. An animated character. Before we get into it, I hope our illegitimate children are jumping in on these.
Totally. Play along.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm hesitating ever so slightly.
Just to give
Just
them a
for
chance.
you.
Because I'm compassionate like that. An animated character with a dog named Brain.
Really? A dog named Brain. No, it's not coming to me. I'm thinking Pinky of the Brain now. And
a dog named Brain. Her uncle is a detective.
Oh, yeah, Inspector Gadget. Penny. Is it just Penny?
She's a Penny.
Penny Gadget?
She is. So it's inferred throughout the thing that his last name is Gadget.
Okay, Penny Gadget.
So she could be Penny Gadget, but it's
I didn't remember the dog named Brain.
Brain. Yeah.
I do remember Penny. Yeah.
You got a nice deep voice. You could probably do the claw.
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
It's not even voice. It's all just rasp.
I'm blacking out. That's a good one. And it is a tricky one, a tricky finale for all of our movie aficionados, our cinephiles. It's funny because I was referencing last week with Norm Macdonald has a thing about being a cinephile. It's like I've been accused of being a cinephile. But after deliberation and paying a lump settlement, it was so funny him being a cinephile. But I guess I'm Some are more amusing than others.
So if you're
Moving right along.
really, if you're into hardware, tools and such, and you could go by deck screws, but really you're just into all the different sizes and dimensions of nails. You'd be a nail file.
Exactly. I think there's a good joke in there. That might not have been it, but this is yes. Okay. So this last one, see if you could. This is a tricky one. The Kate Hudson groupie from Almost Famous.
Oh wow. Yeah, like her character.
Yeah, which you know her first name, and the next one is kind of beatly. Her last name is very beatly.
Beatly. It could be Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
So her first name is
Penny.
Mm-hmm.
Beatly.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna hate yourself.
Oh man!
Our legitimate children are screaming at their
Give me another hint. Is it Go With Penny?
It's part of the So it's a two-phrased penny thing that is also in a Beatles song.
Oh yeah, it's not coming to me.
Penny Lane.
Yep. Dang it.
Are you angry?
Yeah.
So there's some famous pennies for your thoughts.
I was watching a video.
Pennies for your thoughts.
Just the other day, and there was I think it was up in the Okanagan, and for those of you who want to see something, I'm trying to think of Noah's YouTube channel. Is it Arc Media?
Yep.
Arc Media. I was watching all of his stuff. Fantastic videographer, super enjoyable nature and all this world traveling.
Search him up on the YouTube's Noah VDE.
I just let it play, and autoplay. It'll once his stuff was done, other things came up, and it was all like different scenes and places to be. Anyway, somewhere in the Okanagan, this house was built, and they had torn apart a superstore and hauled in the big beams to make this really unique house. And their entryway, it was probably like 20 feet by 20 feet, instead of tile, was pennies. The whole entryway was Canadian pennies.
And then finished it in acrylic?
Must have, yeah, some sort of coating. But it looked fantastic.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That would just be so labor
And for those of you, if you're listening somewhere else, the penny has been completely discontinued in Canada, which makes it slightly more interesting.
We can pay down to the cent, but if you're paying via credit card.
Right, yeah.
Everything in cash is nickeled.
Yeah, cash. Pennies have gone the way of the dodo bird.
Because there's not
Obama brought it up. He was gonna. They were. I think pretty close to doing the same thing.
There's less value in the production.
He threw credit at Canada for making
than
the
actually
leap.
Value in the penny itself.
Yeah,
which is just hilarious.
It used to be a thing that the money had to equate what its worth was, which is not true anymore with paper bills and whatnot. But
right.
I know that. They used to thread silver in other countries, silver thread through paper bills because it had to equate what you say it is. So not just a system.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're not like trading nothing of value. It's like this piece of paper has value.
Who says?
We say. Put a piece of silver.
Yeah. So it was interesting. The penny being used in a different way.
Penny for your thoughts.
Penny for your thoughts. Maybe this. Well, why don't we get into it? We're getting halfway into the halfway mark here. Let's get into a little something.
Halfway into the halfway mark. Are we a quarter of the way into the whole mark?
If we're halfway into the halfway mark, we'd be a quarter way into it. But I'm the whole mark.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I said some words. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind. Origin.
Just a slide at the end makes it all right. So the dirty and the nerdy, the origins. The word penny,
do tell.
Let's start there. May have come from the English ruler Penda, king of Mencia, an Anglo-Saxon kingdom in today's English Midlands. So during his reign from 626 AD to 655, he issued coins that were called pending, after himself. And to further this theory, push it along a little bit, the Old English word for penny is pennige. In fact, the Danish still use the word penge for their money. So if you think the word penny comes from a Danish word and not the Danish coming from the English, then the word could have something to do with the pans that the Danish used for collecting the coin money in.
Which got transferred over to Hong Kong, which was because it was a British colony, and so it is the sign of good fortune. This penny coming from the panda bear.
You're the worst.
I want to participate.
You're like so geographical, so serious face, and I'm like, I didn't never hear about this. Like I got it to Denmark here, and English, 655 AD, and you jump into the Asian culture.
I don't know things like you know things. I got to throw in my own riddles.
As with most idioms or sayings, no one's actually really sure who first said "Penny for your thoughts."
This is a second week of like lame origins.
Yeah, well, it's not bad, but it's so. I think it's just so. The older it is, the harder it is. Unless it comes from the Bible or Shakespeare, it's like who knows. And even Shakespeare, it doesn't mean he invented that. But it could have been in his culture,
sure.
And he wrote it down.
He was like Snoop Dogg of his day
because of his grill, or because he was high all the time, or because
just made up words.
His braids.
He just instead of throwing like Dizzle at the end, or Shakespeare made up stuff
like his own name.
Sure,
both of them. I actually don't know if Bill made up his own name. Sounds fake to me. Shakespeare.
Well. Maybe, but then he actually made up words and things to slip them in.
I mean, if you refer to a pen as a spear and writing as shaking it,
he is a Shakespeare.
He's a Shakespeare.
Exactly.
Maybe it was some play on words. He's like, you shall not call me Shakespeare. We do know this. We know the
Bill
first
Dizzle.
Shake Spizzle. Bizzle shake spizzle. To bizzle or not to bizzle?
That is the fizzle.
That is the quizzle. No. Okay, but we do know in this case who is the first to publish it and then who popularized it. So in 1522, Sir Thomas More's book, Four Last Things, was published posthumously. And it was a book of meditations on death, God's judgment, pain, and how to combat spiritual diseases. Very positive, uplifting stuff.
Some good stuff.
So here's
1500s.
Yeah, here's a quote. Old English. Here we go. As it often happeth that the very face showeth the mind walking a pilgrimage, in such wise that not without some note and reproach of such vagrant mind, other folk suddenly say to them, "A penny for your thought." So there you go. 1522. And it took about 2 decades for it to gain any sort of popularity when a book written by, ready for this, because we've only quoted him about a dozen times in 90-some episodes, John Haywood and his book of Proverbs. And that guy was brilliant, where he didn't coin any of the phrases in these books. Well, maybe he did, but that's not the point of the book. He just collected all these sayings, idioms.
A curator.
Yeah. And so here we are in 2020, and he is the man that comes up time and time again for having popularized some of these proverbs. Like perhaps if he didn't document them, I wonder how many of these would have just disappeared.
Slipped away?
Yeah.
And then this wouldn't exist right now. Yeah. Just think about that.
What would this podcast be about?
John Hayward.
Be the Village Idiots. That's it. End of story. What are you talking about today? No.
Nothing.
So he's best known as a playwright, obviously the collector of these proverbs. He was born in 1497, but fast forward, blah, 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 blah. I got so many notes here. So he writes this book of proverbs, and, okay, let me read this one. This is the preface of the book. Again, Old English, this is hard. Remembering and confidering what the pith is, that by remembrance of these proverbs may'll grow. So that was his whole point, is I want these to become popular. Is I will document them. Here they are. Use them well. Now go and dwell on these things.
Furthermore, thou shalt go, and go thou shalt.
So this is a little bit interesting.
The idiom shall be 4, not 3.
His writings.
Not 5.
Stop. His writings were usually little interludes. His playwright kind of stuff, and he began as a singer in the Chapel Royal for Henry VIII, and he was going well mostly because a lot of his sketches and his comedy was jabbing at the Catholic Church. Now Henry VIII was a devout Catholic, but had been excommunicated from Roman Catholic Church, and so
It was his
Haywood,
marrying. He kept marrying, right?
yeah, he wanted his own rules.
Yeah. It was just
And-
primarily the marrying one, I
Well,
think. Was
I
his-
think it was that he couldn't divorce
Yes.
in the Catholic
Wanted
Church.
to marry.
Yeah, so he was actually a
Not
fan.
like Mary, like Catholic Mary. Like
No. M-A-R-R.
Double R-Y.
R-R.
It's more-
He
more
so
of a
he was a fan of
pirate
Haywood
Mary.
because he was jabbing at the church and he thought it was hilarious. But if you fast forward through all this, it came back to bite him when in 1547, a year after his book, the 10-year-old son of Henry VIII, Edward, took the throne. And Edward, being Protestant, Haywood, being Catholic, taking shots at the church, Haywood took off, headed to Belgium. His life was in danger.
That's
So
unfortunate.
inadvertently, or essentially, he was kicked out of England by a 10-year-old because he documented all this, because he
Come on in, buddy.
because he did all this stuff, made him popular. Another studio audience member.
Come on.
Is there an invisible one?
Oh, there was last week.
We're working it in. Come on in. Jump on in on a microphone.
No, that's okay. I'll just listen. I'm here
Alright.
for the entertainment.
We're here for the. We're working on Penny.For.Your.Thoughts. So that's happening right now.
But we're all out of pennies, so
It was a credit situation.
exactly. Yeah, so that's John Haywood once again. Except I don't remember covering that little snippet of him. And
I've never heard that before.
King
regarding
Henry
him.
VIII loving him, King Henry or Edward.
So his son goes off on him because he's poking fun at the church.
Which is funny that he's Protestant already at 10 years old. Between his father and him, he's switched to Protestant.
a devout Protestant.
That's what it
A
says.
devout 10-year-old Protestant.
Enough for John Haywood to flee the country.
That's crazy.
I know. It's interesting.
Life is bizarre like
The
that.
way it was worded is John Haywood went to spend the rest of his years in Belgium. But it wasn't like he was on death's door. He lived there 33 years. In
Maybe
Belgium.
he just loved waffles.
That's it. Had nothing to do with the new king at all.
No, your life or waffles.
I've written my book.
I'm
I've
good.
done all I came to do. It's time for waffles.
So as all of this unfolds, having a penny for your thoughts, it seems undervaluing, but not all thoughts are worth.
Okay, so did you look
tuning.
at the inflation
Over
like,
time?
Did you look it up?
I saw it, glanced over.
Yeah, so
Jump in.
basically, even at today's monetary value with inflation, a penny for your thoughts equates to like a Happy Meal for your thoughts. It's like $2 or $3.
I would change the thought for a Happy Meal.
We're having some connection issues.
That's all good. I would change the thought for a Happy Meal.
Yeah, Happy Meal for your
Well, because some people have this like zip creativity, and so they're like incapable like of these interesting thoughts, creative ideas.
So it is
And
worth a penny.
sometimes, but you could dump out like if I said, okay, you've got 10 minutes. Tell me 5 creative ideas. You
I'd
could
come up with something.
You'd come up with something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and one thing that I did notice, I must have skipped it in my notes here, is there is older documentation of this phrase being a penny for your thought, singular. So the more thoughts you come up with, the richer you get.
This is like a big Ponzi scheme.
What? A Ponzi for your thought.
Well, if you get a friend, they get the friend's thought, and they could get 2 of their friends. You're downstream of thought. It's
Well,
like downloading consciousness.
It's the thought that counts.
In that case, counts for a penny. There we go.
Okay, so here, this is a clip that'll help you when we're talking about the devaluing of your thoughts by saying a penny. How about this one?
Frank for your thoughts.
A franc for your
Franc for
thoughts.
your
Oh,
thoughts.
let's hear it.
Oh, I love hot dogs.
A franc for your thoughts. That's from Casablanca.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, but as far as like some thoughts, like you can pump out terrible ideas by the second.
For free.
Yeah, like I feel like it's like a challenge right now. Give me one, like just give me one random thought.
Okay, I'd like you to think of one. Oh, give you a thought or give you a challenge?
Give me a category.
I'll give you a challenge. Okay, I'd like you to reinvent in a way that benefits us something that hasn't, in my opinion, changed for decades, if not centuries. Like, improve the umbrella for me.
Okay, the umbrella, specifically the umbrella?
Yeah.
Okay, it is an umbrella that is humidity sensitive, and it's embedded into the collars of people. And so as the humidity and whatnot jumps up, boom, a dome appears from
Like
your
an
collar.
astronaut helmet.
From your collar, though. Like, you know how they have that one accident collar? Like, it's built into like the
Like an
jacket?
airbag?
It's like an airbag collar, so if you have like a bicycle accident, it's like boom, out
But this
comes
is just a
inflatable
hood
thing.
that comes up.
Boom.
Battery operated?
terrible idea.
Solar. Shouldn't be solar.
It took me just like 10 seconds.
On the cloudiest, rainiest day, solar operated auto hood.
Okay, we need a new idea for something to
I'm not as quick as you.
to drink from.
To drink from?
Yeah, a mobile anywhere drink container, individualized per person.
I'm going to go with capsules. So, like, think of a Tic Tac box.
Okay.
So maybe you can't have open liquids where you're going. Maybe you're on a flight or something, but
Fair.
you can pop a capsule in that.
Yeah, fair enough.
And because we have to wear masks all the time, so if you can't take it down to sip on a bottle, can, or straw, so you can pop a capsule in that mask.
That's interesting. Does it pull the moisture out of the air?
No, you buy a box of Tic Tacs, but it's a drink in capsule form.
But if you have to hydrate it, I'm not saying it's a good idea.
I'm not either. If you're only getting a penny out of this.
Enough. Right, that's like a penny for your thoughts.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
That's
fair
terrible.
enough. Okay.
That was a waste of 5 minutes right there.
Well, that's like a theme song at my house.
Waste of 5 minutes.
That should have been the site.
I know we're ticking along. We're about to get into a
that's a
game,
waste
but
of 5
this was
minutes.
my favorite clip when it came to Penny for Your Thoughts quotes from any movie. This is from Young Frankenstein. This is the woman, I don't know her character's name, talking to the monster.
Okay.
Right?
Penny for your thoughts.
Penny for your thoughts. That's a good Frankenstein joke. Well, we're into the final minutes here of today's podcast. We should get into some riddling.
You want it?
Let's prep. Let's do an actual 3 minutes.
All right, you ready? Let's go then. All right, Riddlink is a game we like to play that is a 2-part trivia-based question and requires a 2-part but overlapping answer. Overlapping by sound, phrase, or word. For example, last week was the man who was incorrectly given credit for saying last week's idiom, which was, what was last week's idiom?
So hard to say.
Anyways, the title of this very popular Elton John song, the guy who was incorrectly given the credit was Albert Einstein, and the Elton John song was Tiny Dancer. So, Albert Einstein Dancer.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into this week. I'll go first.
Okay, hit me.
Hot cross buns. Hot cross buns for my 1/100th of a dollar idea.
Okay. What?
Hot cross buns. Hot cross buns.
See how they run. No, that's
For
blind
my
mice.
for my one.
I don't know the next line. Hot cross buns. Hot cross buns. 1 a penny? 1 a penny, 2 a penny for your thoughts?
Yes!
Oh, man.
That was brilliant. Go.
Okay, here's one for you.
Yeah.
We played a clip from this Mel Brooks movie just a minute ago, and it's the title of a very popular Elton John song.
I'm going to go with Young Frankenstein Dancer.
That's it.
Wow.
Wait till next week.
So interesting. Let me get this one out for you.
Okay.
What's going on inside your head is an expression of condolences.
What's going on inside your head is an expression of condolences. Your thoughts, a penny for your thoughts and prayers?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Very nice.
All right. So, okay, I got one more, but I don't want you to answer. In fact, we're going to leave it wide open. I got lots of time here. Wide open for our village idiom children to answer.
Are they idiomate or just illegitimate?
I don't know. We say both.
All right.
Villegitimate.
You can reach out to us at the.village.idiom on Instagram or email us at thevillageidiom.podcast@gmail.com, or whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, 3 minutes gone.
That's a beauty. Now, I'm going to give you this one. Don't answer it.
I won't
But
answer it.
I was so concerned that you were going to blow this one earlier when you were giving me the penny challenge,
Oh, okay.
because it's another one.
Okay, I didn't.
So,
then.
here it is. Nice and easy. You ready for this?
Yeah.
007 will tell you she is M's secretary and wants to invite you to share your imaginations.
Got
I
it.
stumbled a little bit. Let me read it again. 007 will tell you that she is M's secretary and wants to invite you to share your imaginations.
It's a good one. I think I've got it going already. Well, that has been our 3 minutes today. That's 3 minutes gone.
Yeah, that's 3 minutes gone.
I am Skinny.
And I am Jurassic Think Copper, Mark.
And these are the village idioms.
Oh.
These continue to be idioms from the village.
A nickel for a kiss.
What a gear change.
Last 3 minutes gone.